The Gaza Strip is once again engulfed in violence. On March 18, 2025, the Israeli military launched a series of airstrikes across Gaza. These strikes mark the deadliest escalation since a fragile ceasefire in January. Over 400 Palestinians, including women and children, have been reported dead. More than 560 people have been wounded. The Israeli government claims Hamas violated the ceasefire agreement. Israel maintains the strikes are essential to achieving strategic objectives, including the release of Israeli hostages. Several high-ranking Hamas officials were killed in the strikes. The targeting of key figures demonstrates Israel's resolve to weaken Hamas's operational capacity. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defended the airstrikes, stating they were necessary to achieve Israel's war goals. He emphasized the primary objective of securing the release of Israeli hostages. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant warned of intensified military action in the coming days. Gallant's statements underscore the government's commitment to a forceful response. Hamas condemned the strikes as a dangerous escalation endangering Palestinian civilians. Hamas leaders called on the international community to pressure Israel to halt its offensive. Despite the lack of immediate threats, Hamas retains the capability to respond with rocket fire into Israel. The group has a history of launching such attacks even when significantly outgunned. The possibility of a retaliatory strike from Hamas remains a serious concern. The Israeli airstrikes have plunged Gaza into a humanitarian crisis. The Gaza Strip, home to over 2 million Palestinians, was already grappling with dire living conditions. The recent attacks have overwhelmed hospitals and medical facilities. Hospitals are overflowing with the wounded and there are reports of bodies lining the floors. Essential medical supplies are in critically short supply, and there is an urgent need for international assistance. Israel halted aid deliveries to Gaza over 2 weeks ago, exacerbating the situation. The international community has criticized Israel for this move, arguing it amounts to collective punishment. In Rafah, an airstrike killed 17 members of a single family. In another incident, 27 members of another family were killed in Gaza City. These tragedies highlight the heavy toll on Palestinian families. The international community has responded to the renewed violence in Gaza with condemnation and calls for restraint. The United Nations called for an immediate ceasefire and urged both sides to de-escalate. Egypt and Qatar condemned the Israeli airstrikes and urged a return to dialogue. The European Union also called for a ceasefire. These regional and international actors are engaged in diplomatic efforts to broker a truce. The United States has maintained its support for Israel's actions. Acting U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Dorothy Shea, placed the blame on Hamas for the renewed hostilities. The current crisis is deeply intertwined with the long-standing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The underlying issues, including the status of Jerusalem and Palestinian statehood, remain unresolved. The conflict serves as a stark reminder of the human cost and the urgent need for a just and lasting peace.